Agad, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our 16th episode of our BLG 7 online kapihan. Ikonsulta mo kay Atty. Tanyeka. Sabi nga namin, this is the 16th episode, and for the previous succeeding episodes, we have devoted this to our e-consulta kasi ang dami naming pagkakautang sa inyo. Babalik tayo mamaya-maya later on with our succeeding episodes doon sa kapihan natin. We will talk about interesting topics. Binambungan ko na sa inyo yon kung ano yung mga magiging topic natin in the near future. Ladies and gentlemen, we are, as I've said, the first day of March. Diba sabi namin sa inyo, we were launching before the search of the most inspiring and outstanding treasurers and assessors amidst pandemic. May balita na ba tayo ngayon? Sana naman. May mga regional provincial qualifiers na for us to vote for them online. Ang mangyayari kasi, magsaselect yung mga league, different provinces, mga nominees nila. At saka dito natin sila kikilalanin at kikilatisin. Bigyan natin sila dito sa e-consulta para makilala nyo ng gusto. As I've said, ladies and gentlemen, we are devoting once again this episode on e-consulta. Mga topics pa rin sa ating e-consulta. Unang-una na yan is about condonation of real property tax. Kasi ang taxpayer natin ngayon. Data Privacy Act ba rin in relation to mga records ng assessment? Maya yan. How about the increasing of the rate of the professional tax receipt? Pwede ba yung i-increase? Kasi fixed naman yung 300 pesos doon sa local government code. On that, ayan, bumalik na siya. Coming from a Valentine's Day yata. Si blooming. Ladies and gentlemen, from the director's desk, let us welcome our Regional Director, RDGC, Dr. Lero. Good morning, RD.
Good morning, Torns. Good morning, Central Visayas. Good morning, mga ka-assessor, mga treasurers nato. As well as ang mga viewers from Bohol, Negros Oriental, Siquijor, and of course, ang Cebu. Likewise, yung mga staff, mga focal persons nato, from Assessment and Treasurer Services. Good morning. So again, just like what our good-looking hosts have said, that our episode today will be devoted for our e-consulta. Kasi marami po tayong nakabinbin na mga questions. So hindi po kami nag-innovate ng bagong topic, but instead, sasagutin muna natin yung mga tanong na mention ni Attorney kanina kasi they are all very relevant to our functions as Treasury and Assessor. So please hold on to our questions kasi napaka-importante po ng mga tanong na sasagutin ni Attorney mamaya. Okay? Pinaghandaan po ni Attorney Tanika yung mga tanong ng ating mga assessors. And of course, we would like to ask or solicit again the ideas coming from our viewers that if you have, if you wanted something to be discussed in our kapihan, so please type at the comment box, and surely we will have that topic or subject matter discussed in our coming episode. So meantime, just like yung sinabi ni Attorney, ngayong araw na ito, dapat ibigay na natin. Okay? Ibigay na natin yung mga numbers of our qualifiers, regional qualifiers for the search for the most inspiring treasurer and assessor Central Visayas. So for this episode, we will just be announcing the number of provincial winners. Okay? But their names will be revealed, okay, next episode, okay, and as well as their pictures, okay. So we have from Cebu, we have 3 provincial winners for the assessment group, and 3 from the municipal treasurers group, and of course we have 2 from the City Treasurers Group. Okay? So two City Treasurers and City Assessors. Of course, in Bohol, we have 3 from the assessment group, municipal assessment group, and 3 from the treasury, municipal treasurers group. Okay. For Negros Oriental, we have 3 from the assessment group, and then we have 2 from the municipal treasurers group, and 2 for the city treasurers group and city assessors group. For the Siquijor, we have 3 from the assessment and 3 from the municipal treasurers group. Okay, so their names will be revealed, okay, next episode. So please hang on, yung mga fans club ng mga nominees natin. Please join us again next week for to find out, okay, who are those our regional qualifiers. Okay, so before we proceed, I'm congratulating our newly appointed assistant municipal treasurers in Central Visayas, just signed by the Secretary of Finance, Secretary Dominguez. We have Ms. Annabel S. Gutang, okay, the Assistant Municipal Treasurer of Cebu, Cebu. Palakpakan po from Cebu. So, siya din po yung first, yung municipal treasurer niya, siya yung first na nag-oath sa akin. So, sana yung first na assistant municipal treasurer na mag-oath is from Cebu nga, Cebu. Okay? And of course, we have from Lubok, Bohol. Okay? We have Ms. Lucena T. Marfe. Okay? Congratulations and hope to see you take your oath. Thank you, Jules. Thank you, Tords.
Ayan, congratulations doon sa ating dalawang managkat sa ating treasury family. Ayan. Hashtag BLGF7 Express, yun yung pangako ng ating director. Hindi natin i-delay yung mga appointment because you know what? These treasury services are, sinasabi nga natin, frontline services natin ngayong pandemic. I-delay yung kanilang appointment, ang hirap kaya pag walang regular treasurer sa isang munisipyo. Yan, thank you for that, Ardi. We'll get back to you later on. At saka, thank you for that announcement na parang magdi-declare na tayo ng mga provincial qualifiers. Again, the director has seen the urgency of this matter kasi kailangan pa nating ipakilala sa inyo, isa-isa, yung mga candidates natin for you to vote online. Diba?
I love it! You guys are so great!
So, next week, makikilala nyo na sila. Sabi nga ni Abdi, makikilala nyo na yung mga nominees from each provinces of Central Visayas. Ikilatisin natin, bigyan natin ng time. I don't know if that was 15 minutes each. I-interviewin natin. Pwede rin kayong magtanong sa comment section kung ano yung gusto namin itanong sa kanila. Ladies and gentlemen, I will also now introduce to you my co-host for this episode, pang 16th episode natin. Yeah? Kagagaling, bakit kaya nawala si Nanay? Iba comment na, parang standing comment na natin na bumabata si Nanay. Ano kaya, saan kaya siya nagpunta? Nagpapabata pa rin, ha? Tingnan natin, ladies and gentlemen, ang chief ng ating Treasury Division, Miss John Annabelia. Good morning, Nay!
Hey, good morning po. Oh, I missed the 2 episodes ng kapihan, online kapihan sa BLGF. Miss na miss ko rin po kayo. So, isa muna pong maganda, isa mo
Go ahead.
sa lahat ng mga masusugid naming taga-subaybay sa online kapihan sa BLGF, ikonsulta kay Attorney Tanyeka. So, ako po ay nawala ng 2 episodes dahil sa mga pangyayaring di inaasahan. Kaya kayo mga treasurers and assessors, mahal na mahal namin kayo. Kaya pag may bumabagabag sa inyong kaisipan, huwag mahiyang magtanong, manood at makilahok sa online kapihan sa BLGF7 at magpakonsulta kay Attorney Tanyeka. So, huwag kalimutan, walang bayad to. So, please watch every Monday the online kapihan sa BLGF7, ikonsulta kay Attorney Tanyeka.
Thank you, Nay. Hanggang ngayon, yes, thank you, Nay. Hanggang ngayon, matalinghaga pa rin kung ano. Ang daming nagtatanong last 2 episodes, Nay. Ano kaya yung ginagamit ni Miss Juna? Bakit siya bumaba? Anong serum, anong tinuturok? Meron ba?
Cheers na.
Ngayon, babalikan kita mamaya. Nay, Ardi, na-mention ni Nanay, medyo matumal yung mga nagtanong ngayon. Medyo nahihiya sila. O baka nagkaka-bright naman. Again, i-emphasize ko yung sinabi ng aming director, hindi po kami, huwag kayong ma-intimidate magtanong. Hindi po kami ang superstar dito. Ardi, paki-invite naman sila kasi we have not been receiving questions by late naman so far, Ardi.
Yes. So we are soliciting again if you have queries, okay? So wag na kayong mahiyang magtanong. Lahat po 'yan sasagutin ng ating batikang abogado dito sa BLGF. So lahat po 'yan libre, okay? So kung magko-konsulta po kayo ng abogado, 50,000 po yung acceptance, tapos 500 po per pleading. So dito po libre lang po. So kawang-gawa ito ng ating batikan na abogado dito. Walang bayad, okay? Kasi ganyan siya ka-passionate yung trabaho, yung lab niya for BLGF, okay? So please take advantage na meron tayong abogado dito sa BLGF 7, okay? So hindi lang yung tanong mo yung masagot, kundi yung situation mo, you have similar situation with other treasurers or assessors na pwedeng makinabang sa mga tanong mo. So kaya huwag ka nang mahiya, mag-text na, mag-comment na doon sa comment box, and we will gladly appreciate your participation nitong ating online kapihan. Thank you, Torch.
Thank you, Ardi. So, saglipan ko lang muna. Bakit ito nagawa namin itong online platform ito? Aside, of course, from the sudden shift to the new platform, nakikita kasi when we were in the office, ang daming tumatawag, nagpapakonsulta. Almost always yung mga concern nyo, kapareho lang ng mga concern ng mga kabaro natin sa Treasury and Assessment Service. So, we share it with everyone. Yan yung idea ni Ardi. Hindi lang yung katransaction mismo yung nakinabang, pati na the whole Central Visayas. And now, as we notice, the whole of the Philippines, and thanks to our Regional Director, Dr. Lero, umabot na tayo hanggang Luzon, hanggang Mindanao, servicing the Treasury and Assessment Services. Ganyan kamahal ni Ardi yung Treasury and Assessment Services that he deemed it proper to have a platform to reach out not only the treasurers and assessors who have that particular concern, but all other treasurers and assessors of the entire region, not only entire region, sabi nga natin, karating na tayo Luzon, ang Mindanao, siguro may kaparehong concerns. And we must also emphasize, baka na-intimidate kayo pagtanong. No, sabi ni Ardi, what we are saying here, minsan, alam nyo na yan nababasa na yan. Mas fortunate pa nga kayo, you are mixing what you have learned with law with actual experiences, with actual practices. Yan yung nakapag-asa sa atin. So, of course, in our discussion, please comment naman dyan. Magpa-comment naman kayo. So, bago tayo tuloy-tuloy sa ating mga first in consulta, I have to mention, may namit ako doon sa pinapunta kasi kami yan, doon sa Mandawi City. Doon sa mga department heads. It's difficult to have face-to-face meeting with with department heads nowadays kasi na rin nagkakapacity sa offices nila, so medyo cautious na rin. So, thank you Mandawi City officials, napunta kami dyan last week. And thank you for helping us with the concern of PLGF. So before tayo magtuloy-tuloy, mayroon na akong human interest lamang na may share akong story kasi na-meet ko doon si Miss Jopay Guanzon. Ayan, na-meet ko doon si Miss Jopay. Galing siya sa Cebu City Treasurer's Office yata. But later on, napunta siya sa Mandawi City. Bakit ko na-mention yan? with the permission of our regional director, i-mention ko muna ito. Tingnan mo dyan. Siguro you can see my screen now. This was reported on Interaction and even in Freeman and the Philippine Star. May empleyado pala noong una yung Treasurer's Office ng Cebu City na isang pusa. Totoo yan. At saka complete with ID pa siya. And I've met the owner doon sa Mandawi City. Nandoon na kasi sa Mandawi City si Miss Jopay. Miss Jopay, sabi niya, nanonood siya palagi. Tingnan natin yung ID niya. Ayan. Security guard daw siya doon sa City Treasurer's Office. Kita niyo naman. Sabi ni Miss Jopay, when Mingkay arrived in the City Treasurer's Office, nawala na yung problema niya sa rats. Diba? Kasi ang daming taga doon na sumisira sa records ng Treasurer's Office, importante pa naman yung records ng Treasurer's Office. Anong ginawa ni Miss Jopay? Naghingi siya, nag-request siya kay former Treasurer, Ma'am Veronica, yan. Hindi siya na mag-issue ng ID doon kay Mingkay. So I have the pleasure of meeting Mingkay sa kasamaang palad. Yan, sa isa. Our files are important in the Treasurer's Office. Ayan, i-print muna natin yung picture na nandoon yun sa Interaction. At saka sa The Freeman, nandoon pa yata yun sa Philstar. Yan. Pwede niyong search yan. Sabi ni Ms. Jopay. Our files are important to us. So in the office, so Mingkay is a big help. Now, anong nangyari kay Mingkay? Unfortunately, ngayon si Mingkay po ay sumakabilang buhay na. Nagka-cancer yata, liver daw, sabi ni Ms. Jopay. Kasi daw, ang pinapakain niya, he spends about 100 a day yata or a week. Pinapakain niya, sardinas kasi. Food yung sardinas, so pinadala nila sa doktor, sabi ng vet, wala na silang magawa kay Mingkay. So the last time that I went to Cebu City, I also met another cat naman doon. Parang replacement kay Mingkay. Good morning, Miss Jopay. Good morning, Mandawi City. Yang before natin papasadahan, human interest yun. Mayroon palang pusa na empleyado ng City Treasurer's Office. Paraging nasa office yun. May overtime payment kaya yun. Sabihin, pag may isang sardinas a day, dalawang sardinas a day, ha? Pagkakain ng sardinas, dinigay nagkakansir. Good morning, Miss Jopay. Kasi masugid daw siyang taga-subaybay. So kaya i-regret. So before we proceed with our konsulta, pasadahan mo muna natin yung mga early viewers natin as early as now. Yung mga nagpa-attendance na dyan sa ating comment section, good morning. Balikan natin yung chief na ating Treasury Division. Miss Luna Nabilia, pasok na.
Isang shout out po, Sigaw Palabas, kay Jimmy Lagora, the Acting Municipal Treasurer of CP Garcia, sa aming ESRE champion from Garcia Hernandez Bohol. Masugid din natin itong taga-subaybay, si Ruel Asiro Baguhin. Sigaw Palabas po kay Edsel Lagora, the Municipal Treasurer of San Fernando, Cebu, kay Glenn Blair de la Peña, kay Pauline Ucat, Ernesto Imbong, kay Yarem, the Acting Municipal Treasurer of Compostela, Cebu, kay Colin Andales Noynay, ang Acting Municipal Treasurer ng Medellin, Cebu, si Ida May Pahente Electuna ng Santa Catalina Negros Oriental. Isa pa rin pong Sigaw Palabas kay Ma'am Nisa Completo, ang Treasurer ng Balamban, Cebu, kay Ray Anoche ng Masbate, Aristillo Masas ng LGU Hitafe, Bohol, kay Prince Nalam ng Santa Catalina Negros Oriental, Caterina de la Cruz ng Province of Northern Samar, and Anita Luquias Cabrera. Isa pa rin pong pahabol na shout out kay Lucia Nailon, yung Acting Municipal Treasurer ng Santa Fe, Cebu, kay Ernesto Rupac ng Paso Nueva Vizcaya. Uy, nakaabot na tayo sa Region 2. George Batunan ng Bugias, Benguet. kay Esther Bagiran Hilbero ng Argao, kay Annette Vero. Meron na po tayong 69 viewers. At saka, pagkakataon ko na po itong magpasalamat sa aking hair and makeup stylist, no? Kay Ate Bren. Isang magandang umaga po sa iyo, Ate Bren.
Presidente ng
Lord,
Fans Club.
balik sa'yo.
Thank you na. Nandoon na lang tayo sa pagpapasalamat. I'd like to thank the production team. Yan, linagyan na talaga kung makita nyo lang. Linagyan na ako ng pailaw dito para na ako naka-foundation. Sa una, ang itim ang dark daw ng background. Ngayon, talagang pinuntahan ako ng production team. I have 2 background ring lights din dito sa likod ko kasi kailangan daw mayroong balancing effect yan. Hindi lang yung lights nasa mukha. Salamat. At saka pasalamatan ko rin. Bakit gumaganda yung mga visual advertisement namin dyan sa Facebook page namin dyan sa BealGF7. Nag-import kami ng IT. Thailand-based ito pero Filipino siya. Ang galing. So siya yung credits to our new advertisement yan sa mga pa-teaser namin yan. Yung mga nakikita nyo ang ganda-ganda mga pa-teaser. Credits to Mr. John Ramusa. Romeo Ramusa Jr. Nasa Thailand siya. Good morning sa'yo. At saka balikan ko rin si Ardi. Magpapasalamat na rin tayo sa Ardi. At saka parang reminder na rin kasi magma-March na. Parating na tayo sa March 20. Magdi-deadline na naman yung ESRE submission. So i-acknowledge na rin natin yung mga ESRE champions natin kasi nabasa ni Miss Junan, ang daming mga focal persons na nanonood pala si Sir Glenn, mga focal persons natin dyan. Ardi, I would like to thank also doon sa mga nag-comply doon sa financial results at saka reminders na rin sa ating quarterly submission. Ardi, go ahead Ardi.
Yes, again, in behalf sa BLGF7, so I would like to commend our focal persons sa Treasury Services in Central Visayas because our performance in the central level has tremendously improved. So from previous reportorial compliance natin na medyo nasa mababa tayo yung compliance performance instead in terms of yung
mission
in terms of early compliance. Ngayon na tayo, pumasok na tayo sa at least we're on the top 3 to 4 in terms of the regional ranking. So congratulations to our ESRE champions for doing their job very well and for updating the reports on time or dili lang on time, ahead of time. So again, since magde-deadline na rin tayo sa ating QRRPA ESRE for March 20, so I would like to appeal again to our treasurers and to our ESRE champions to please do our reports ahead of deadline because we'll never know what will happen during deadline. Okay? So doon papasok na maraming limalaso, di ba? So
yes,
maraming
March 20 na naman, parang magde-deadline naman yung for the prior year quarter. March 20 yung deadline yata.
That's right, that right turn. So do not wait for the deadline to come. So do it 20 days before deadline, 15 days before deadline. Kasi if you do it on the deadline, baka naman magka-brown out, baka naman makakasakit yung champion, or baka naman walang internet, or baka naman may iuuto si mayor. So let's do away with that. So do it before deadline so that our ranking in terms of earliest submission will also improve. So thank you so much, ESRE for champions for doing your job.
Yeah, thank you, Ardi. Mention ko na rin as doon sa assessment division, special mention ko na rin yung mga assessor, tulungan nyo naman yung sa treasury natin sa submission ng ESRE. Kayo na yung may responsibility sa QRRPA submission of report. Medyo tagilid pa rin tayo as of last year. So please, reminder, magde-deadline na naman yung submission of QRRPA through the ESRE system. Bakit please? Bakit naman mahirapan naman tayo sa submission control? So ladies and gentlemen, puntahan na natin agad yung first query natin. It is about condonation of real property tax. Anong kasi doon? Sir, medyo mahirap na kasi ngayon ang lagay ng mga tax base na taxpayers natin. Ibig sabihin yung tax base natin medyo nasa-stress out na rin dahil dito sa pandemic na ito. Nagka-lockdown, humina yung kita. But I'm not talking about business tax dito sa query nito. We're talking about real property tax. So, pwede ba naming i-waive, i-condone, reduce, or i-relieve yung mga delinquencies, prior years delinquency ng real property tax? Kasi medyo matumal yung nagbabayad, sir, kasi mahirap. Ang daming nawalan ng trabaho dahil sa lockdown. Hindi pa nakabalik ng trabaho hanggang ngayon. So, let us talk about this first query. So, anong batas ang nagsasaklaw dito sa condonation of real property tax? Now, again, i-emphasize ko muna. We are talking about real property tax, hindi business tax. So we refer now to Section 276 of the Local Government Code of 1991, RA 7160. Now before we read on to the nitty-gritty of the provisions, in-highlight ko talaga yung isang phrase dyan, isang mga sentence, mga words dyan. The condonation or reduction of real property tax and interest, yan muna. Sabi ng 276, agad-agad. Ang i-condone is the real property tax and interest. Ibig sabihin, hindi pwedeng makondone yung surcharges and penalties. O, dyan pa lang sa title, ha? So ano na yan? May nakiuha na tayong dapat i-emphasize. The condonation applies only to real property tax and its interest. Hindi naman nag-mention ng penalties at surcharges eh. So hindi pwede yung mai-condone. Collectible pa rin yun. The next thing that we should emphasize is that these words or provisions in Section 276 na sinasabi, the donation should apply only for the succeeding year or years. Ibig sabihin, prospective yung application ng condonation of real property tax and interest. Doon pa lang sa wording doon, hindi kalakip na yung prior years delinquency. So, emphasis. First, pwedeng ma-condone ang real property tax at interest lamang. Hindi kalakip yung surcharges at interest. Sabi ng 276 yan. Huwag kayong mag-add kung anong yung wala sa batas. Ini-emphasize ng batas na tax at saka interest lang, wala yung surcharges at penalties. Pangalawa, for the succeeding year or years, ibig sabihin prospective po yung application ng condonation of real property tax and interests. So huwag na nating pag-usapan yung delinquency. Bakit kaya prospective yung application? So balik tayo doon sa provision ng Local Government Code. Remember, the conditions upon which you are allowed to grant condonation or reduction of real property tax, kaya na yung Section 277 kasi sa power of the President yan. Wala naman doon sa bayanihan law na in-exercise yan. Saka nag-cluster yan. Okay. Sabi ng 276, napupursi ng batas na baka mahirapan talaga yung taxpayer natin sa real property tax. So ano yung mga instances na pwede tayong mag-allow ng condonation or reduction of real property tax and interest? Number one, if there is a general failure of crops or there is a substantial decrease in the price of agricultural or agri-based products, mga produkto na medyo nakakapababa ng presyo ng agricultural products, parang bumibenta yung mga produkto ng mga taxpayer natin. At saka calamity, nag-declare na ngayon na we are under the state of public health emergency, parang calamity na rin yan. So, pwede ba? So, anong ibig sabihin? These bases or these occurrences are never considered na prior occurrences. So, ibig sabihin, pagka-occur na mga instances na basis na pwede kang mag-condone or mag-reduce ng real property tax, yung general failure, yung substantial decrease, yung calamity, prospective from the occurrence of those events, yun yung mag-apply ka ng condonation at saka reduction. Kaya prospective yung application ng condonation or reduction of real property tax. It is never retroactive. Kasi nga, allowed lang tayo mag-grant ng condonation at saka reduction pag nag-occur yung tatlong instances na yon. So pagka-occur nun, doon pa tayo mag-condone for the succeeding year. Hindi nga mismo doon sa year na nagkakaroon ng general failure of crops or calamity. Doon pa sa succeeding year. So that more emphasizes the fact of the prospectivity of the application of the condonation or reduction of real property tax. Balikan natin ang batas. So, hindi naman pwede yung mga calamity na occurring before, gumawa ka ng ordinansa ngayon pa. Ano bang sabi ng batas? Sabi ng Section 276. Yang for succeeding yan, emphasize na natin yan. Yung letter C na hinihima-himay ko, sabi ng Section 276 of the Local Government Code, an ordinance should be passed prior to the first day of January of any year. Now, it is assumed that after the occurrence of these three instances, you should pass that ordinance na nagagrant ng condonation at reduction of their property tax. Now, why? Because this is consonant also of the effectivity of the reassessment kasi magre-reassess ka. Or kung di magre-reassess, mayroong bagong rate kasi tax ito. Hindi necessarily yung assessment level, hindi necessarily yung appraisal value, tax. But the point is, there is a new taxable due. Kailangan sa taon na ito, magpapas ka ng ordinance na nagko-condone o nagre-reduce, magiging effective yung condonation at saka reduction yan the next succeeding year. Hindi agad-agad pa nga kung gusto mo ngayong taon sana yung application ng condonation reduction, the prior year pa lang, gumawa ka na ng ordinance sana nag-allow ng condonation or reduction. But the problem is you cannot really foresee yung mga calamity niyan, yung failure of crops or and so on and so forth. Actual yung hinahanap ng batas na mayroong actual na calamity, na mayroong general failure. Hindi po pwede kasi yung baka magkakabagyo ni set. Ngayon pa lang, gawa na tayo ng ordinansa na magkukontrol. Ayan. At saka pang-apat na requirement, it should be upon recommendation of the Local Disaster Coordinating Council. Ang apat na requirements yung application of condonation or reduction. There should be, number one, occurrence of those mga occurrence, calamity, failure of crops, and increase in the price of agri-products. Effectivity thereof for the succeeding year only or years. Yung mga 2 taon, wala namang limit. At there should be an ordinance. Ito important. Yung reduction of condonation, there should be an ordinance. And it should be duly recommended by the Local Disaster Coordinating Council. Sir, paano yung Section 198? 198 yata yung Local Government Authority of the Sangguniang to grant tax relief? Pwede ba rin yung gamitin ng basis for us to grant relief for the prior year's delinquency of real property tax? Now, there have been schools of thought over and over again that the sections of 198 apply. Forgive me, baka hindi yun 198. The provision of tax relief of the Local Government Code applies only to local business taxes. Walang kasama doon ang real property tax. Bakit? Kasi nasa ibang chapter yung real property taxation, pambungad pa lang na article ng real property taxation, sabi doon, the provision of this chapter title yata shall govern real property tax. So it excludes actually provisions prior to that chapter or title. So what I am saying is that yung tax relief na yun, hindi mag-apply dito sa real property tax kasi mayroong specific batas o provision ng local government code applying the condonation of real property tax and interest. To recap, the condonation or reduction contemplated under Section 276 is prospective in application, meaning only those real property taxes or interest due for the succeeding year or years after any of the mentioned incidents happen. Mayroon talagang actual occurrence of those cases which adversely affected the taxpayer's ability to pay. Therefore, it may be condoned or reduced. And it never applies to those unpaid real property tax or interest of the past year or years. Na-emphasize natin yan. Whether such applicability or nature of condonation or reduction is prospective, kasi prospective eh. What are covered therefore are real property tax only and the interest. Kasi yung penalties at surcharges na yan, nag-prior yan eh. Kaya nga nagkaka-penalty at nagkaka-surcharge kasi hindi na bayaran yung prior year's real property tax. Eh, sabi ng 276, succeeding year, prospective ito. So walang hindi kasali yung mga penalties at surcharges. Now, Section 192 pala yung power to grant tax relief, hindi pala Section 192. Yung Section 192 is the power of the Sanggunian to grant tax relief is applicable only to business taxes kasi nga hiniwala yung real property taxation from all other local taxation. Ayan. So there we go. We have one query addressed. May katanungan kasi dito eh. Pag nag-general revision, puntahan ko muna si Arvin dito kasi he is a provincial assessor. Okay. Tingin ko kasali. Arvin, may katanungan kasi dapat ba daw i-include sa general revision yung machineries? Tingin ko kasi nagre-revise ka nga ng values eh. Hindi naman stagnant yung values ng machinery. Alam natin yung general revision is all about RASIMS. Kasali yung lahat-lahat. Yung machineries pa kaya? Adi, in your general revision, have you revised also doon sa province of Masbate? Machineries din? Adi, may kanatanungan. Kailangan yata nating address agad-agad back para hindi magtampo. Yes, Adi. Go ahead, Adi. You're in.
Of course. Kasali lahat yung properties nasa assessment rules ng isang assessor.
With opportunity.
Either i-apply mo yung
Sasamantalahan
depreciation.
natin yung opportunity natin. Oo, yan. Okay, Ade.
So that's the time. Yung general revision is that the period wherein not necessarily natataas yung value ng properties. Okay? So in the case of machineries and buildings na we apply depreciation, it does not follow natataas siya. Okay? So there are tendencies na bababa talaga yung value ng mga machineries because when you apply depreciation, i-reduce mo yon sa original cost or value ng machinery and same with buildings. Okay? Although you apply replacement or reproduction cost, so you get when you give the value is you use the reproduction or replacement cost method. Okay, wherein the cost of constructing that particular building, if done today, pero i-apply mo rin yung depreciation na as if ginawa yan 10 years before, okay? Pero ngayon yung cost, okay? Pero
Cutting out yata si RD. Okay, RD. Okay, we lost you, RD. Hello, okay. Sasaluhin ko muna so di na. For the information of everyone, si RD kasi is a provincial assessor prior to his stint as a regional director ng BLGF 7. So actual practice yung mga sinasabi ni RD, and aside from that, he is also a member of the technical working group responsible for the revision doon sa ating Philippine valuation standard. So coming from the horse's mouth talaga yung mga valuation na standard na yan. We have heard RD talaga. Nakakating out yata kami doon sa office. Yan, we are experiencing internet connectivity. Limited internet, ayan sinasabi. They have low bandwidth allocation daw doon sa office. Due to limited internet connectivity. So tuloy-tuloy na natin. Thank you, RD. Thank you for that, RD. Once we re-establish online connection with him. In the meantime, hindi muna natin mababati yung mga viewers natin kasi nga we lost connection with Miss Jonah Nabilia na din, ng ating co-host. We'll proceed na lang. So pasensya na para magiging monotony yung discussion. Mas maganda sana na magpapag-greet muna tayo. Okay. We'll proceed na lang with another e-consulta. Dito muna. Aside from that, tax declaration on so, professional tax kasi binor ko talaga kasi actual ko. May katanungan. Ayan, pumapasok na agad na nabalik sabi. Ito lang muna. May katanungan dito. May katanungan, pwede ba namin i-increase yung PTR, sir? Yung pagbabayad na andun kasi sa batas, Section 139, na yung payment of professional tax is limited only to 300. And in fact, sir, some provinces are doing that. Ito, nakita ko. 363 yung professional tax nila. Now again, there is that provision in the local government code that you meet the authority of the Sanggunian to adjust tax rates. Emphasis on tax rate kasi ito, tax due itong 300 yung taxable due talaga. Yung tax rate, yung multiplier sa tax base. 10% in every 5 years. Now, ito hindi kalaki kasi fixed tax itong 300 pesos. Ba't nagawa yan ng ibang probinsya? This is, if you recall, mayroon tayong cattle fee yata yun for registration of cattle. Diba? Mayroon yan. Ang mura-mura nun. So, ang ginagawa ng iba, nag-add-on sila for the services that they have extended, ina-add-on sila. So, I surmise also. Although you cannot increase the rate, the tax due pala. Let us be careful with what we are using. Tax due. Kasi yung tax rate, yun yung multiplier of the multiplier of the tax base. You cannot increase the tax due kasi fixed tax yan doon sa Section 139. Sir, ang tagal-tagal na yung local government code niya. Ano ba yan? So, ang ginagawa nila, kasi you are doing services kasi in extending or granting of this, in giving of this professional tax, ang ginagawa nila, ina-add-on nila yung service. So, you are not necessarily increasing the tax due of 300, pero mayroon kang may item doon na may ginagawa. For example, research fee kasi nag-inventory kayo ng professional doon sa LGU niyo, sa jurisdiction niyo. Retrieval fee, certification fee, or kung ano-ano mo yung mga services, sabi kasi ng local government code, pwede tayong mag-charge for the every services rendered. Yung local taxes, fees and charges, di ba? Charges for every services rendered. Yan, bumabalik na yata. So, you cannot increase the tax due of 300. However, you can add on other services rendered. I-itemize mo din yun sa resibo. So, this time, nagiging 363 siguro yung professional tax kasi in-add on nila yung services rendered. Nagta-charge sila. But you have to justify, ano ba yung services na render you? for you to have that 63 pesos add-on. Balikan ko muna si Ardi kasi naputol. Abruptly naputol natin si Ardi. We have the internet connectivity problems sa office. Ardi, I was mentioning a letter earlier. Sinasabi ko, Ardi, before he stand as a regional director of PLGFM, is a provincial assessor of Masbate and a member of the technical working group na nagre-revise at naka-update doon sa Philippine Valuation Standards. Ardi, balik doon. Machinery, kailangan ba nating i-revise din, Ardi, during general revision, Ardi?
Yes, yes, sir. So, as I said kanina, medyo nag-cut out ako. So, lahat ng mga nasa assessment roles natin should be revised unless na lang kailangan lang natin i-drop from the roles. So, yung revision kasi is the period wherein we can adjust the values of the properties na nasa assessment roles natin. For instance, yung machineries. So, this is where yung general revision, the conduct of general revision, this is where we can apply depreciations, okay, for machineries and equipment and also for buildings. Okay? So, Torres, may tanong dito in relation to general revision si Ma'am Julie Santos.
Yan.
Basahin ko na lang kasi related dito sa pinag-uusapan natin. Sabi ni Ma'am Julie Santos, yung municipal assessor ng Cagayan, Sir, good morning. Can we apply the depreciation even without the conduct of general revision by request of the building owner or administrator? The answer is yes, you can.
Yes.
Okay? So, especially kung yung general revision is medyo matagal na, tapos the building owner, okay, really need to pwede nyo i-inspectionin yung property, okay, and then tawag na revalue, tawag doon, Torns, at tawag doon mas maganda na terminology when we conduct revaluation.
Yeah,
so
revaluation.
Revaluation. Okay? So the answer po, Ma'am Jolie, is positive. Yes, you can po. Okay? Provided that you will conduct siguro ocular inspection of the property by the owner. Thank you so much. Yes, Torch.
Yeah. Thank you, Ardi. Shout out kay Mr. Leonardo E. Rivera, ang City Treasurer ng Toledo. Kasi siya yung nagsasabi, Sir, mahina yung audio mo, pakilapit sa mic. Kaya I have a change of microphone. Mahina pala yun. Oo, hindi pala marinig. Kaya, thank you, Sir Rivera. Suki na rin natin ito si Sir June. Thank you for that shout out. Balikan ko yung sinasabi ni Ardi, yung katanungan na pwede ba daw mag-apply ng depreciation kasi, tika mo na ha. Okay. Yan. Pwede ba daw mag-apply ng depreciation miski walang general? Yes, sabi na-discuss na yata natin yan dito in prior, pasensya, hindi ko na-show si RD kanina, nag-share screen pala. Na-apply na natin yan dito, na-discuss na yata yan dito yung depreciation. It is a matter of right kasi that is a right of the taxpayer din to apply depreciation. Yung depreciation kasi economic or deterioration, physical obsolescence, and so on and so forth. These are natural occurrences. Pag naandyan yung right to depreciation, i-apply nyo na. The problem is, this is actual case. Yung depreciation table nyo doon sa schedule of market value nyo, minsan naka-apply kayo hanggang 50% yata yun kasi nandoon sa local government code yata yun. Mayroon akong nakausap na isang assessor. Sir, you know what? When we have general revision at saka updated schedule of market value, ayan, loud and clear na daw, sabi ni Sir John Rivera. Thank you for that for that reminder, sir. Hindi ko nagpalit kasi ako ng microphone, condenser mic pala. Mahina siya, hindi siya omnidirectional. No, balik. Minsan kasi sabi na it is reported. Paki-comment na rin diyan sa comment section, actual case ito. Sir, minsan kasi pag nag-apply kami ng depreciation, ewan ko kung totoo pero I have seen this as a matter of fact doon sa LGU na nagsumbong dito. Medyo tumaas na nga yung value imbes na magdi-depreciate. Totoo ba yan? Bakit? Kasi this is like this. When you apply depreciation and you have a new schedule of market value, of course, you are now using the new schedule of market value as basis for your depreciation. Imagine a property built prior years ago. Medyo, to simplify matters, 500,000 lang yung value niya pagkagawa ng building. Ngayon, nagawa na ng schedule of market value na bago, nag-update na, when you construct a building, reproduction, na katulad yan, nagiging mga 5 million, 2 million, something like that. For purposes of emphasis, let us just simplify the values. Pag-apply ng depreciation, imbis na bumaba, tumaas daw. Comment naman dyan. Nangyari ba dyan sa inyo? May isang instances pa. Pag-apply ng depreciation, sir, kasi straight line yata yung depreciation up to 5 years. Ilan ba yung nasa local government code? 50% ba yata? So naubos na yung depreciation, sir. Does that mean to say, makatayo pa ba yung bahay na 50% na lang yung functional? Ibig sabihin, is it really realistic na mag-depreciate ka hanggang sagad-sagad? Naandun pa ba yung bahay? Para sa kanya, hindi naman yata realistic na every year mag-a-apply ka ng 10% depreciation of the building. Kasi at the end of the 5 year, ibig ba sabihin, half of the house is only functional? May ganyan ba? So yan yung mga concern. These concerns need to be talked about, further discussed. Wala yatang parang established policy dito. But however, ang masasabi ko lang, when you appraise at saka assess property kasi, mayroong iba-ibang schedule of market value mag-apply, pero mayroong batas talaga doon sa section local government code. You apply the current schedule of market value. Now, I believe also when you apply depreciation, you apply also the current schedule of market value. And that makes some depreciation, application of depreciation, na nag-i-increase na nga yung property imbis na mag-depreciate. I don't know if that is correct, but mayroon ng actual case dyan sa LGU namin dito. So, paki-comment naman dyan. Okay. Good morning, Ma'am Julie Santos. Okay. Now, ito yung utang. Bumalik na yung internet connection. Si RD yata, naka-cellphone lang. So, naka-data yan. Personal data yan na connectivity niya. Balikan na natin si Miss June Anabilia. Barang naka-establish na. Ay, sorry, Nay. So, are we go, Nay? Doon sa mga pa-shoutout. So, si RD muna. Baka may pag-greetings ka dyan, RD? Si RD muna. RD? Kasi naka-standby pa.
Yes, Torch. Actually, Torch, may question dito from Lilibet Bulando. Okay. From the LGU Dipolog City. I don't know kung asang regional office to, region 10? Okay. Region 10 ba yung Dipolog?
Okay.
Okay.
Dipolog
Sabi niya
is,
dito, classified po ba na machinery itong laptop, CCTV, mini malls of banks, computer programs? Need po ba ito i-declare as machinery? Ito yung tanong ni Ma'am Lilibet Bulando from LGU Dipolog City. Okay? Yeah. So I understand na-discuss mo ito at Torrance last episode. Balikan
lang natin, Ardi.
Sige.
But before that, Ardi, pa-shoutout na rin natin yung lahat-lahat na nanonood kasi naglalag tayo kanina and we are about to end our 1-hour stretch. Pang last question na lang yung kay Miss Lilibet Bulando muna as for this episode. In the meantime, kasi we promised them to have parang walang overtime para hindi tayo bibitawan. So yung mga pa-shoutout.
That's right.
Yes, Adi. Pa-shoutout, pa-comment muna kay Miss June Anabilia. Pasok, Miss June Anabilia.
Shoutout po kay Edna Carla Arboyes, the Municipal Treasurer of San Remigio, Cebu. Kay Annette Vero, the Acting Provincial Assessor of Cebu. Kay John Rabusa from Thailand. Top attorney. Si Kit Adubas ng Maasin City. Si Gao Palabas pa rin po. Kay Marilo Hatamusa Herrera. Kay Jema Sumalpong, the City Treasurer of Bayawan City. Kay Hisosa Diposa, the City Treasurer of Gihulngan City. Isa pa ring Tapan. Si Lorna Dagatan Morales, ang City Treasurer ng Danao City. Kay Yong Meds, the Municipal Assessor of Alegria, Cebu. Kay Arlene Chari Puntenes, Municipal Treasurer of Amlan Negros Oriental. Again, shout out kay Rhea Romas, the Municipal Assessor of Clarin, Bohol, Leonidasa, si Mafranca Oira of Dumaguete City, kay Chimbi Ikong Augusto, ang ESRE champion ng Lapu-Lapu City. Tapan pa po si Wilda Tejero, si Elvera Bingbing Takaysan Galanto ng Hordan, Guimaras. Kay Leticia Abs Cabilion, the Municipal Treasurer of Dumanhog, Cebu. Sa aming mga masugid na taga-subaybay, kay Edwin Villanueva, kay Emago, kay Merisit Caballero, kay E.G. Orbita, at saka Sigaw Palabas, isang mas lakas na Sigaw Palabas daw po, kay Jeff Bahaw, yung City Assessor ng Karkar, Cebu, kay Eugenia Montañez Dayag, Municipal Treasurer of Sibunga, Cebu, and Ernesto D. Impong Jr., isang ESRE champion ng Assessor's Office ng Lapu-Lapu City. Ay, may ano dito, attorney, sir.
Sagarin mo na, Nay. Sagarin mo na.
De Los Reyes Bantasan, isang napakagandang greeting. Sabi niya, Happy Monday to all. Another fruitful day with episode 16 on online kapihan. Good luck to all qualifiers for the most aspiring treasurer and assessor. Ito kasi siya, sir, attorney, may masaklap na nangyari sa kanya. Nawala yung mug niya na bigay ng BLGF kapihan. Hanggang ngayon, kahit mug ninanakaw na, ay nako, para hindi, ha? Para magkaroon kayo ng mug, kung sino man yung nagnakaw ng mug ni Lirio, manood kayo ng online kapihan para maging tapan kayo. Libreng-libre ang mug ng BLGF kapihan sa mga tapan. So, balik sa'yo.
Sino yung nawalan, Nay? Sino yung nawalan ng mug? Si
Lirio de Los
Bantasan.
Reyes. Si Bads, yung ESRE champion ng Sibunga.
Ayan. Pwede ba nating maibato yung mug natin from regional office doon sa Sibunga? Ardi, ay sa tingin ko yata pabalik si Ardi doon kasi mag-a-appoint naman ng assistant. Nawalan daw siya ng mug, Ardi.
Yes. Don't worry kung nawala man yung mug mo. Another one will be replaced, Ma'am Lirio. Okay? Dadaan po kami sa Sibunga most likely next week. Okay? Papasyalan ka namin kasi may bagong appointment na mag-o-oath siguro yung assistant municipal treasurer ng Sibunga. Okay? This time, siya yung first, Torns, siya yung first na mag-o-oath as assistant municipal treasurer yung taga Sibunga. Again, yung first na nag-oath ng municipal treasurer is from Sibunga. Ngayon, ang first na assistant na mag-oath will be from Sibunga. So, hope to see you there next week, mga taga Sibunga. Actually, Torns, may magandang balita because yung shrine ng Sibunga Shrine, Mama Mary Shrine will be open for public na daw. So baka naman pero of course may observe lang ng protocols when you go there. Okay? First, baka panghuli na lang, sige.
Go ahead, Ardi. That's about, Ardi, pa-shoutout pa rin?
Ay, hindi naman. Okay.
Sige. Babalikan kita, Ardi. Emphasize ko lang muna before we go with that, yung laptops, mga CCTV bolts at saka and so on and so forth. Kasi kanina daw yung mic, yung audio ko mahina. So emphasize ko muna yung yung sinasabi natin before about condonation of real property tax, interest. Yung condonation, real property tax at saka interest, hindi kasali yung surcharges at penalties at saka prospective in application. Pangalawa, yung increase of the professional tax, fixed tax yan. Yung tax due talagang naka-fix yan doon sa real local government code na 300 pesos. However, you can add on, kaya nagiging 363 yun, for example, yung isang province yan. Kasi you can add on yung mga services rendered, magcha-charge kayo. Allowed naman yan sa local government code. For every services rendered, you can exact charges from the services rendered. So hindi ma-increase yung tax due, pero magka-add on ka doon sa services rendered. For example, ito nakita ni Ms. Juna Nabilia, yung registration of cattle, di ba? Ang mura-mura yun, ilan lang yun? mga about 2 pesos pa yata. So mahal pa nga yung form ngayon, hindi na 2 pesos. So nag-add on sila ng services. For example, research fee, retrieval fee, certification fee, and so on and so forth. Wala tayong magawa kung naandyan pa yan sa batas yung fixed tax na yan. Now, panghuling katanungan about yung CCTV. At saka, ay, may question pa sana si Sir Charlie. We're running out of time. Ito muna kay Ma'am Lilibet Bulando. Well, I'm looking at my cellphone doon sa group chat namin dito sa regional office. Pasensya, this is not real time. Wala akong Facebook. Bawal kasi dito sa China. Walang Facebook dito sa China. So, yung nagmo-monitor ng ating mga queries, yung production team natin, minsan nga si RD nagmo-monitor yan doon sa mga pa-comment at sa mga pa-query nyo. So, itong kay Ma'am Lilibet Bulando yata muna. No? Now again, we do not discourage you. Miski real time yung addressing of a question, this is good kasi yung interaction na andun na-establish na. Kaya nga, minabuti natin na miski walang naka-prepare na slides, miski wala yung local government corporation na isa-cite natin dyan, in real time, i-address natin yung mga queries nyo. Now, i-disclaim ko muna na may delay minsan kasi ako mismo nasa China kasi walang Facebook, bawal yung Facebook dito sa China. So sila Adi yung nagmo-monitor ng pa-comment at saka yung production team. Kay Ma'am Lilibet muna, Bulando. Sir, classified po bang machinery itong laptop? CCTV? Mini bolts? Mini bolts, yan yung yatang kahadiyero? Kahadiyero yata yung diniero ba yan? Yero. Servers of computer programs po. Need po ba itong i-declare as machinery? From Dipolog City. Anong region yan ay? Dipolog is Region 10. Region 10 ba yan ay?
Region 9, Torns. Region 9.
Region 9. Region 9. Oh, kina Sir Rafi Galo. Kina Sir Charlie. Oh, yan. Mga friend ni Julie. Okay. Now, there is no, as far as I know, wala talagang exact enumeration of what are considered machinery for purposes of real property tax. Now, kung tingnan natin yung batas, dinodo away, iniiwasan na mag-enumerate ng machinery na considered as nakalakip doon sa real property tax. Huwag natin tawagin yung machinery na real properties kasi mahirap ang yung mga abogado na mag-accept. Real property ba yung machineries? Iba kasi yung definition nila doon sa civil code as to real property. So, ang sabihin nyo, magiging liable sa real property tax yung machinery pagpasok doon siya sa criteria o definition ng local government code. Yung mga abogado kasi, talagang hindi kayo matatapos magkikipagdebate sa kanila as to that machinery kasi sa civil code hindi talaga mapapasok as real property yung machinery, minsan movable Bakit daw gagawing real property yung machinery? Now, we are taxing machinery as real property tax, not necessarily because they are machinery, but because they are dito sa definition mamaya. Yung mga abogado pasintabi na po. May joke kaming mga abogado. Baka magalit yung mga abogado rin ako. Pag yung mga abogado daw, joke lang ito doon sa mga MCLA ko, ito natutunan. Pag yung mga abogado hindi daw naglalay, ibig sabihin, joke lang ito mga nyor-nyor Pag wala daw lay na naigawa sa kasinungalingan na naigawa sa isang araw, magkakasakit. Lalagnatin daw kami pag hindi kami nagsinungaling. Kaya pag nagsinungaling kami, that is for health reason. Biro lang mga nyor, panira. Yan yung mga running jokes ng mga abogado. Kawawa naman kami. Hindi kami naglalay. Minsan-minsan lang. For health reasons. Na, balik doon sa katanungan. Sir, kay Ma'am Lilibet Bulando, nag-overtime na naman tayo. Machine taps. Now, instead of a question that are classified as general purpose or use, baka yung laptop yan hindi naman yan necessary at saka essential at saka indispensable. Mamaya tingnan natin yung definition talaga. Now, pag general use yan or general purpose yung machinery yan, walang real property tax dyan. Now, isa-summarize muna natin yung rule before we proceed. First, of course, machineries that are permanently attached to the land and building is subject to real property tax. Even though if it is actually directly and exclusively used for, miski nga yung machinery ng mga religious at saka educational, taxable yan. Bakit? Bakit mo yan nasabi? Sir, exempt sa real property tax yung mga religious, educational at charitable institution. Basta actually directly and exclusively used. Kasi balikan nga natin yung section 2.3b before we address the question of Ma'am Lilibet Bulando. Yeah. Ang exemption doon sa section 2.3b, exemption from real property tax ng local government code is that charitable institution, churches, parsonages, or convents appointed to the mosques, non-profits, religious, and all lands, buildings, and improvements actually and directly exclusively used for religious charitable purposes or educational purposes shall be exempt from real property tax. Now po, tingnan natin yung section 2.3b, lahatin ko muna, Ma'am Lilibet, ha? Wala namang exemption dyan sa from machinery. Hindi ini-enumerate yung machinery as kalakip doon sa exemption from real property tax doon sa mga religious, charitable, educational. Now, therefore, the first established rule is that if it is permanently attached to the land and buildings, machinery, even if exclusively and directly used by charitable, religious, and educational purposes, taxable, real property tax. Pangalawang rule. Ayan. Machinery that is not permanently attached, hindi naman ito permanently attached, yung mga movable, is subject to tax if ito na yung criteria. Pwede na nating matakol at ma-address yung katanungan ni Ma'am Lilibet, yung laptop, sir, yung CCTV, yung mga mini bolts of banks, kadiyero yata. Now, sabi dito, magiging taxable yung machinery na yan for real property tax if it is an essential and principal element of an industry. Ibig sabihin, pag essential, makaka-function ba yung business na yan or industry na yan without that subject property na sinasabi niyong machinery? Therefore, if it cannot function without such machinery, it is subject to real property tax. And it is not subject to real property tax if it is not essential and principal element of an industry or work or activity. Example ko muna, yung air conditioning na yan. Essential ba yan sa isang bank? Sabi na, pwede naman kaming mag-banking even without air conditioning. Magiging inconvenient nga lang yung transaction. Inconvenience nonetheless, but however, it is not a principal element. Now, balikan natin yung laptop. Makaka-function ba yung banks pag wala yung laptop? Of course, di ba? Makaka-function naman. Although mayroong sense of inconvenience and delay, but however, we cannot say it is an essential and principal element of an industry wherein which the absence of such laptop, it cannot function. Yung CCTV na yan, pag wala bang CCTV, the banks cannot function. Of course, they can function. Mayroon nga lang lack of security, may nga lapses later on of kung ano man yan, may walang parang pang resistance ng mga rubbers at so on and so forth. But for you to consider that as real property taxable, kailangang essential and principal element yan na the absence of such machinery, it cannot function yung industry or yung business. Otherwise, pag hindi yan essential at saka permanent to the business or industry, magiging machinery of general purpose or use yan. Now, the machinery which are of general purpose or use, including but not limited to office equipment. No? Office equipment ba itong laptop? Typewriters, telephone equipments, breakable or easily damaged containers, microcomputers, microcomputers pa nga, fax, telex machines, cash dispensers, furnitures, yung mga aparador niya dyan, fixtures, freezers, refrigerators, yung display of cases of racks, Fruit juice, hindi naman yan essential. Beverage, yung mga coffee maker niyo dyan, are not directly and exclusively used to meet the needs of a particular industry, business, or activity and shall not be considered as machinery na liable to real property tax. Now, ini-enumerate ng IRRD siguro ito. So, yung pagkakahalintulad ng mga general purpose o use na machineries, pagpasok dyan na hindi directly and exclusively used to meet the needs of particular industry, hindi yan taxable for real property tax. Now, Ma'am Lilibet at saka viewers, I leave it to you kasi pupunta pa naman kayo doon doon sa bank mismo kasi kailangan mag-field appraisal para ano pa yung FAAS. Ang pangalan ng FAAS, Field Appraisal and Assessment Report Sheet, di ba? Report. So kailangan puntahan. It's up to you to appraise and assess whether these are machineries of general purpose of use. Hindi ko yang nanakawin yung right nyo to appraise and assess to determine whether or not these machineries are exclusively used to meet the particular needs of the business. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If it is not directly and exclusively used to meet the needs of a particular industry, these are not liable for real property tax and are considered yes, Adi, pasok Adi.
Yes, dagdag ko lang kay as additional guidance to Ma'am Lilibet, just like what our lawyer said, na it's within your discretion when you conduct your field appraisal ocular inspection to decide whether that particular machinery is a necessity on the conduct of such industry. So tingnan nyo lang po kung ano nature ng kanilang business. Let's say for instance, computer shop. So pupunta nyo doon, so how can they operate computer shop without computers? So in that note, pwedeng tingnan nyo, taxable kasi necessity siya. Punta kayo sa mga tawag nito yung call centers, di ba? So it's all dependent on your wisdom or your judgment based on the actual scenario during the conduct of ocular inspection. Pero at least our good lawyer has already said yung law, okay, governing such declaration, whether it is machinery or this machinery is subject to tax for of general purpose.
Yes,
so,
thank you. Thank you for that, Adi. Adi, nagkaka-interactive na tayo. Kailangan yatang ganito na yung real time mismo yung mga pa-comment dyan. Babasahin na. Isa na lang, Adi, with your permission, kay Sir Charlie Daguplo. Makikita mo yan, Adi, screenshot ni Sit. Sir, kinahanglan ba? Magbibisaya muna kami. Kinahanglan ba nga ang plano o bill of material sa renovation sa balay? This is about I assume mayroon ng existing tax declaration sa isang building pero the house is for renovation. Kinahanglan ba ang plano o bill of material sa renovation sa balay? Kasagaran man gud balay gi-renovate base sa makita sa Facebook. Ayan, unya gihatag sa panday. Dili mo hatag sa maong mga data kay kinopya ra sa Facebook ang forma. Now, na-mention ni Ardi kaniya, this is about revaluation siguro, section 2220. There is a material increase in the value kasi nagre-renovate value of the property. Now, papasadahan ko muna yung requirement doon sa ating appraisal of buildings. Nasaan na ba yun? Papasadahan ko lang. Not necessarily na ito. Basta punta ka dyan sa chapter na yan kung ano yung requirements bago. Ay, nawala tuloy. Forgive me, kailangan ko yatang i-exit. Ayan. Sa chapter 4 of the Manual of Real Property Appraisal. Without necessarily looking into that, building plan and so on and so forth. Now, what is important is that minsan kasi yung mga plano na yan hindi natutuloy. Or yung mga blueprint na yan, yung mga sinasabing costing na yan, hindi natutuloy as tawal. Now remember, when it comes to appraisal and assessment sa ating real property tax, hinahanap natin yung actual. May sami pa nga tayong actual use. So, miski yung medyo mura yung nasa plano, yung actual pagtingin nyo, mahal nitong mga materials na ito. So I would say, sir, the plan or the bill of materials is a good guidance. However, you still have to go to the field, puntahan niyo yung building na renovate niyan. At saka may schedule market value naman tayo doon sa building. 'Di ba? May typing tayo, mayroon tayong type A, type B, may mga classification, sub-classification. Actual pa rin yung gagamitin natin, not necessarily doon kung ano man yung nakalagay sa bill of materials. Now, ang tanong, kinahanglan ba kuno dong bill of materials or ang plano? As I said, they are not indispensable, but they are a good guidance. We still use the actual kung ano yung makikita natin doon sa renovation. Ardi, baka may pahirit ka dito sa katanungan, Ardi?
Napakaganda ng tanong ni Sir Charlie kasi very relevant. Yung instruction ko kasi sa mga assessor dito sa Central Visayas, Sir Charlie, na dapat yung mga assessor natin medyo chismoso. So this time, hindi lang po yung nagka-actual ka. Nakikita mo yun sa mga Facebook, di ba? Yung nagpapa-renovate, di ba? They post their a way of showing that their achievement, nagpapa-renovate. So pwede from there you start your reappraisal or revaluation of the present tax declaration.
Yeah.
So although hindi sila magpo-provide, definitely hindi yan magpo-provide kasi hindi yan kumuha ng building permit. So it's still up to your discretion and your judgment when you conduct your field appraisal of inspection. Okay?
Yes.
So talagang napaka-wide discretion. Ito yung discretion mo on how to value, di ba? Kung nakita mo sa Facebook na ito yung cost, siyempre kung nakita yan, meron ng corresponding cost sa Facebook. So mas madaling makita, mas madaling ma-apply yung cost kasi nasa Facebook din yon. Yung design nandun sa Facebook, definitely may corresponding cost din yan doon sa Facebook. So thank you Sir Charlie for
Charlie Dagoplo. Saan kaya ito, sir? Anong region kaya si Sir Charlie Dagoplo? Ayan. So, babalikan natin yung mga pa-shout out. Yung mga shout out, yung mga sigaw palabas kasi naka-cut off tayo kanina. Medyo hindi tayo nakakota doon sa mga greetings. Baka iwan tayo ng mga viewers natin. Nay, pasok na. Miss Juna Nabilia.
Hello, attorney, si Charlie Daguplo, Municipal Assessor ng Sierra Bulones, sa atin yan. Sa
Sa atin pala.
Bago yan
Good
siya.
morning, sir.
Si Commissioner.
Oo.
Oy, sabi ni Glenn Blair de la Peña, ma'am, pasigaw palabas naman sa assessment people of LGU Talibon. Now watching pihan. Minaw gyud sila kay daghan topic sa assessment ron nga episode. So nanaw gyud kuno sila. Shout out kay Engineer Julius Chin, the Municipal Assessor of Madrid.
Kilala ko yan.
Cebu.
Spain.
Kay Jen Formentera, the Municipal Treasurer of Madridejo, Cebu. Kay Belen Ormega, yung our former office mate na hanggang ngayon is masugid na taga-subaybay at
Subaybay.
Yes, tumatangkilik sa ating mga programa. Kay Angelo Sarabia, the City Treasurer of Bai City. Kay sabi ni Sir Rene Loreto Gilbas, good morning, Director Joy and Attorney Tanyeka. Keep up the good work. Napakaganda ng ginagawa ninyo. Mabuhay ang DLGF7.
Mabuhay!
Sigaw palabas po kay Jumidis Iyong, the Municipal Assessor of Alegria, Cebu. Kay Fatih Cabintoy, ang ESRE Champion ng Dumanhog, Cebu. Kay Annabel Gutang, yung bago lang, yung magte-take off kay Sir sa Assistant Municipal Treasurer ng Cebu nga. Hindi siya maka-take out pag hindi siya manood nito. Lucila Rial sa Pepe, the Assistant Municipal Treasurer of Basay Negros Oriental. Shout out po kay Kamoy Moy Moy ng Cebu City Assessor's Office.
Assessors, Soki yan na.
Kay Josephine Dayaw, kay Maria Teres Iyas, ang ESRE Champion ng Lapu-Lapu City Treasurer's Office. Kay June Rivera, yung
Ay, yun.
Wapong City Treasurer ng Toledo
Walang
City.
iba.
Isa po siyang takpan. Shout out pa rin po kay Cirilo Amazuna, the Acting Municipal Treasurer of Dalaget, Cebu, kay Ray Anoche ng Masbate, kay Josefina Talisayan, the Municipal Treasurer of Maria Siquijor, kay Gemma Panya, Municipal Treasurer of Dagohoy, Bohol, kay Rosemary Villacampa, the Municipal Treasurer of Lasy Siquijor, at saka kay Ma'am Annette Vero, isa na po pala siyang full-pledged na
Provincial
provincial assessor
okay.
ng Cebu.
Thank
Manuel
you, Ms.
Campo
Junano.
po.
Ay, sorry. Go ahead.
Manuel Campo po ng Maso Esperanza Masbate. Yudisa Rakadag ng Camarines Sur Region 5 at si Edna Ragas, Municipal Treasurer ng Liloan, Cebu, kay Arsenio Fudutan, the Municipal Treasurer of Albuquerque, Bohol, and Leticia Cabilion, the Municipal Treasurer of Dumanhog, Cebu. Torns, balik sa iyo.
Thank you, Nay. Good morning. Nice to have you back, Nay. Na isang seryoso munang announcement sa taga Bohol dyan, sa mga nanood. Nandyan yata si Sir Arsenio Pudutan, yung previous nating president. Sino man ang nakakilala nitong taong ito, si Dudong Corsiega. Baka may nakakilala at saka nakakakita sa kanya kung saan man siya ngayon. Pakilapitan po. Bakit? Again, kung sinong nakakilala kay Sir Dudong Corsiega, tinatawag din ito, nag-alias din ito na mayor. Minsan tinatawag itong mayor. Pakilapitan po at sabihin happy birthday sa inyo. Belated happy birthday. Nag-birthday po siya last week. Kay Dudong Corsiega, yung mataas nating treasurer doon sa Bohol. Belated happy birthday kay Dudong Corsiega. At saka nagparamdam si Sir Nonoy. Yeah, si Sir Nonoy, si Nonoy
Wala pa, hindi pa natin na-invite as one of our panelists. Di ba,
Yes.
Torch, naka-line up na siya?
Kaya.
Yes, sa Engineer Ilbas, naka-line up ka na po. Naka-line up ka na po to be one of our panelists. Yung topic mo hindi pa pumasok. Kaya hintay-hintay muna.
Parang anything under the sun yata yung magiging topic natin kay Nonoy Arde. Miski walang topic, tawanan lang tayo pag nandyan si Nonoy.
Attorney, isa pang pahabol, baka magtampo
Go
sa
ahead,
akin
Nay. Go ahead.
Okay. Shout out sa Municipal Treasurer ng Daan Bantayan, Cebu, kay Ma'am Eva De Leon, kay Elsa Corazon Kabatbat, kay Ricky Inolpe ng City Assessor's Office ng Cebu City, at kay Marvin Jerome Maniwang, yung Municipal Assessor po ng Panglao, Bohol.
Panglao. Nakapunta doon si Arde sa Panglao. At saka doon sa yes, Arde.
Team tayo na pupunta ngayon sa Liloan will visit Mayor Frasco. Okay?
Yeah.
So po tayo for a meeting with Mayor Frasco this afternoon at 3 p.m. May team
Good
tayo
morning,
na
Mayor.
pupunta doon. If you are free, you can join us.
Yeah. We'll find time, Arde.
Ano
Arde,
ba?
nakalimutan ko tuloy. May binati kanina si Miss Jonah Nabilia, sino yun, Nay? Si Belen Ormiga. Miss Belen Ormiga, yung blood sugar ko bumaba na yata. Matumal na yung chocolates, mga Toblerone. Kasi yan yung tagabigay ng chocolate namin, si Miss Belen. Good morning, Ma'am Belen Ormiga.
Siya pala yung source ng sweetness dito sa BLG.
Oo, bumaba na yung, nung nawala siya, nung nag-retire, bumaba na yung sugar namin. Kailangan ng pataasin. Okay. This has been a fruitful episode. Nonetheless, medyo hindi natin natako lahat ng i-konsulta. Yung tax declaration sa buildings ng Timberland. Pwede ba yun? Yung request ng law firm na ng copy of tax declaration, pwede ba yun? Yung request ng government offices, ang dami nating hindi pa rin natakot. Nonetheless, kailangan nating bitawan ang episode na to kasi pag nagsasobra ng 1 hour, mahirap yatang to hold on into a platform like this na walang actual interaction pero virtual lamang. Nonetheless, we are very proud, Arde, na nagkaroon na tayo ng live at real-time interaction sa ating viewers. Isa-shout out natin sila si Sir Charlie Dagoplo, si John Rivera, yung nagko-call out sa attention na mahina yata yung audio, si Ma'am Lilibet Rolando, si Ma'am Julie Santos, sino pa yung mga actual real-time na nagko-comment at saka nagke-question. On the spot ko na si Arde. These people deserves mugs, Arde, someday.
Yes, Torns. So, once you visit Cebu, so please visit us here at Maxwell Hotel, 4th floor. So BLGF, and we'll gladly entertain you here at the regional office. Okay, so thank you so much for those who are our viewers from not only in Central Visayas, for all our neighboring regions. Thank you so much for joining our kapihan. So again, so for yung naghihintay, yung mga fans ng mga most inspiring treasurers and assessors natin, so they will be formally announced next episode. So siguro around 30 minutes will be devoted for the announcement of the regional qualifiers and the provincial winners for our most inspiring treasurers and assessors. I understand nakasubmit na po yung provinces of Negros Oriental, Siquijor, Cebu, and we are waiting for the Bohol. Okay, and of course our city treasurers and assessors finalists. Okay, so again, congratulations. I know you are all excited to find out who are those, who are they, okay, who are they, and please continue following our kapihan because dito lang po kayo pwedeng bumoto. Sino yung choice nyo for the most inspiring? So yung mga treasurers and assessors natin have prepared their 5-minute video presentation where you can find or you will learn what they have done, okay? What innovation they have introduced in terms of their assessment and treasury functions. So to our viewers, please continue subscribing our FB page and liking our post. So, and of course, we look forward to having you as our partners in this online kapihan with sa BLGF. I-consulta kay Attorney Tanica. Thank you, Torns.
Thank you, RD. I guess that serves as a closing message na rin, RD. This is the end of our 16th episode. This is anticlimactic pero i-announce muna. March 1 na tayo. Yung sidula ngayon may interest na. Last day of February yung sidula sana nababayar. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the 16th episode. Together with me, I have my co-host, Ms. John Anabella, and of course, our regional director, Joy Doctolero. This is Attorney Wilbert P. Tanyeka saying bye-bye.